sometimes I simplify it, a little bit and say, basically think of edge. The computing part is anything that's not happening in the public cloud is somewhere else, is happening on the edge. It could be a local data center, but it can also be literally on premise. And I guess the IoT device is actually the device at the end. I would separate that as the endpoint device. And everything else, that's where I see it playing out, depending on the application. The edge processing is occurring everywhere else. And we still haven't seen, will it be mostly at an access point, mostly literally on the premise, or will it be in a local data center? I feel it's going to be everywhere.
I think it's exactly to your point, David. It's everywhere. It's compute is going to be everywhere. Now, the definition of edge, I guess, again, if I say edge starts from where the data source is and goes to then the next point, which can be a gateway, which can be an on-premise data center, which can be a base station, compute available at the tower, right? Now, then you go, I guess we have to start from where the data source is and say, this is edge. Yeah. And now everything between them and every other compute on the path can and will have a role. And to some degree, we may have to actually reference this more as a distributed computing, where data and the operation on data starts at where the data source is or the closest proximity to where the data source is. And they always will exist. I mean, they always will coexist. The endpoint device with a gateway, with an on-premise data center, with even the public cloud will always coexist. And depending on what the operation is, the right computing point will be utilized for it. And that's actually one of the challenges of what we're facing, because if you think about cloud computing, it's provided us with a homogeneous environment that I'm not worried about what is the network, what is the operating system, what is this, I just host my service on that homogeneous environment and I can access it. So, but when you think about edge, it's very fragmented. It has different, it has different operating system. It has different type of compute. You have different type of connectivity. So therefore, it's very heterogeneous. And how to create a homogeneous environment out of this heterogeneous environment. So at the end of the day, the developer or the solution provider can see this as a seamless computation available to them. And whether the macro service now need to be on that iOS or as processing need to be on FreeRTOS macro controller, or instantiate a process on gateway at the premise or instantiated in public cloud, for developer is the same. They look at it as a seamless computing available that they can utilize it. That's what Mimik has done, by the way. It's kind of creating that homogeneous environment out of the heterogeneous situation, so developers can just seamlessly run what they want to run.